Welcome to Spaghetti on the Wall, where we throw ideas, see what sticks, and nurture those that do. I'm your host, Armando Leduc, an actor, entrepreneur, and coach, giving you insights that light up your world. We're here to explore the realms of business, marketing, and life, serving up a shot of inspiration with every episode. Ready to make ideas stick and grow them into something great? Let's dive in. And we're back. Spaghetti on the Wall, Managing Partners podcast right here in beautiful San Diego at Law-Di-Gras. We've got Dina Joseph here on the podcast, and we had a conversation yesterday. Jen Gore introduced us, and you're a visionary. You've got a lot of things going on, and I love when we had the conversation. You're the who, not how person. You're like, okay, how do I find the right people and work with them? So give me like a 2-minute backstory on like your story, because I'm sure it's multifaceted, but you can try to dial it down to 2 minutes if you can.
Yes, multifaceted. So I was not in legal. I was in hospitality, and somebody claims they discovered me. They saw me interact in a hospitality setting. I was running a venue, doing events, and she saw me and she said, I need that person to work with me. And it took a little convincing, but I did. And she was my first introduction into legal finance. And I quickly absorbed a ton of information. I was fortunate. I went to 1 million legal conferences, and I listened to some of the most prolific minds in the space talk about different ways to make money and different ways to handle cases. And a whole new world of possibilities was opened up to me. When you're a kid, they don't tell you that legal finance is even an option. You could be a lawyer, a doctor, a teacher, a firefighter. Right. And I was like, oh my gosh, there are all these careers. And I learned and I grew. And from legal finance, I went into legal tech. And from legal tech, I opened a law firm. And
oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Because of Arizona.
And Arizona and DC and Utah for a little bit, and now Puerto Rico. And I'm really good at finding loopholes and ways to use what I've learned to better the system. And I have a hard time letting go of things because I see such a big picture.
Yeah.
And I've really been able to partner with some fantastic people who are great at implementing some of my outlandishly crazy ideas.
Yeah, no, I love that you stay in the zone of genius. I was talking to somebody about that this morning, about if once I start getting into like the ins and outs and the details of stuff, I'm out of my zone of genius, right? I got to stay out of that and just making the connections and networking and putting those things together, which is what you're doing in such a beautiful way. So how are you managing? Because I always have this question with visionaries, because you have like probably 30 ideas a minute, right?
Yes.
How are you prioritizing those and avoiding like the shiny object syndrome?
Okay, it's really challenging because I do a lot, but I have a few people that keep me grounded that I bounce my ideas off of, and they help me prioritize. So most of what I do is focused in legal, and then we put them into different buckets. How does all of this work together, and what is a priority, and is it, cash flow today, or is it future revenue? So a lot of what I do with the law firm is big picture, long road. And in a few years, hopefully a lot of that will pan out. But some of the tech stuff is much faster. Those deals are closing daily, and it's kind of keeping that balance. I'd say like a lot of law firms that do single event cases versus mass tort cases understand that. Single event cases keep the lights on. Mass tort cases could take 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's understanding that balance between, seeing this needs to get done now and is going to have a strong impact. This will have a longer prolific impact on society, but it's going to take a lot longer to see the outcome.
Yeah. So when did you decide that you were like, oh, I need to own a law firm? And does this law firm exist nationally or just in those cities or states? So Arizona?
It exists nationally.
Okay.
I'm actually dabbling a little bit in the international space and finding some partners overseas to work with and understanding a little bit more globally how the legal system works. It does change from country to country, but I'm fascinated by it. So I go to conferences over there, and I really am just a student of life. So consistently learning and understanding and finding more of those who people. And I got a little deviated. I forgot the whole the whole
So
question.
the question is,
But my law firm, is it national, international?
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I basically find the right law firms that specialize in the case type that we acquire. So my firm doesn't actually do any litigation. I'm not a non-attorney partner. I do have some really wonderful attorneys that work with me because, again, I don't know everything. I don't know a lot, but I do know some very smart people.
Yeah.
And we help aggregate those cases with really qualified marketing vendors, and we sort through them and find the best law firms to work them up, and making sure that our clients have the best access to justice with hopefully the best outcome for them.
Which is just such a, like, now you got my head spinning, right? Because it's like these attorneys are really good at being attorneys.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and I'm in the marketing space. So a lot of times, like, trying to reach the attorney to get them to do the things that they need to do because they're constantly like in trial and doing this. And I'm like, y'all need a CEO. You need a CEO for your company. Like you can't be the CEO. You love law too much and you want to do law, and that's totally cool, but you can't. I feel like it's damn near impossible to be the CEO of your law firm and also be like the lead lawyer. Right?
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I feel like there's this balance when somebody's starting out on their own firm because they're so passionate about law. They see the upside.
Yeah.
They get to keep a lot more of the money when it's theirs rather than, you know, sharing with everyone else. But they also can't grow as fast. They have to be willing to invest in themselves, invest in their firm, put the right systems in place. So I got into this from tech. So by selling case management software, or by, you know, partnering with the right AI companies and other you know, tech stack optimization platforms, I really get to see who was running efficiently and who was going to be willing to provide that level of customer service to the clients I referred to them, and who was going to not miss the statute of limitations because their system was going to constantly remind them.
Yeah.
It was all very synergistic. And on the funding side, I got to see who was paying their debts, who was over leveraged, who was settling their cases for the right amount of money that was paying back their clients. So I grew upon all of the knowledge.
Yeah.
I didn't just wake up one day and go, oh, I want to open a law firm because there's money here. And I realized that not every lawyer has the same trial skills or specializations. You know, some are really great at working up traumatic brain injury cases or these invisible injuries that if you're not knowledgeable on that, it's so hard to convince someone that someone who looks otherwise, you know, perfectly normal and may be able to go to the gym suffered a brain injury and has memory issues. How do you show that? So those cases go to a specific set of attorneys.
Yeah.
Same with, you know, unfortunately, institutional sex abuse or semi-truck accidents. There are these things that you can't specialize in at all. I specialize in finding the ones who specialize in what they're really good at.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, like, that's a talent in just in being able to do just that.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm glad we're having this conversation. We should take it offline because I'm really interested in like this whole concept. Because I mean, you essentially have a law firm in a box.
Yeah.
Because you know, oh, okay, if I put so and so, it's like the Avengers, right? Like you got this person, this person, this person, and you have it all handled. Well, then, shit, you can do this everywhere and anywhere, and then all you need are the attorneys that can actually do the work.
Yeah.
And then you can handle all of the back end stuff. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
I agree, but you'd be surprised. It's hard to find people willing to say, I don't know that, or I'm not the best at that.
Yeah.
And I've gotten more comfortable with saying, well, I'm not the best at that, but this company is, and let me introduce you. Or this lawyer is, let me introduce you. Or how can I help bridge this gap?
Yeah.
And I feel like once you let your ego get out of the way, I mean, we talked about this earlier. It's be honest, ethical, and do good work.
Yeah.
And admit your shortcomings. And, you know, once you set that standard, you know, most people won't be able to say anything bad about you.
Yeah.
Okay?
I love it.
I pride myself on that in business. Like, I will never screw anyone over. My reputation is all I have.
That's all you have.
And as long as nobody's able to say that, you know, I feel like I can go and do anything.
Bounce the moon. I love it.
Yeah.
Dina, where can they find you?
LinkedIn, Instagram, most conferences. I go to about 33 a year.
Yeah.
And askdina.com is my website. It is currently being rebuilt by an amazing marketing company, but I have goarelian.com, and I work with many other really wonderful brands.
Yeah, I love what you're doing. Dina, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you so
on.
much.
Guys, thanks so much for watching and listening. Spaghetti on the Wall, bringing it back. We'll see y'all next time.
Great.